stream class here on, third live stream overall, second stream here on YouTube Live. I'll do a little bit of an introduction while we're waiting for a few people to come into the stream. So probably noticed over the last couple classes, we've been gearing the classes toward a little bit more, I want to say, review. We've talked about, reviewing hand strikes, reviewing kicks, sort of the basic concepts behind those, etc. Today, we are going to talk a little bit more about some advanced concepts. We're going to get into some hand strikes. We're going to work just like a general hand strikes class, but we're going to spend a little bit of time on the pads, doing different combinations, some working with some show blocking and some ducking, things like that. So, advanced students, this is your opportunity to kind of come in and work some more advanced hand strikes. We're going to give adjustments for beginners as well, but we are going to start with just a quick review of all the punches, real quick, just to make sure everybody's on the same page. So, advanced students, this is your opportunity during that time to work on the technique and work on the finer details of those techniques as we're reviewing them with the beginners and intermediate students. Beginners, as we go through the class today, there may be some drills that get a little more advanced, sort of like what I would run in an advanced class. I'll give you guys some different types of drills to work on, or you can try to follow along as best as you can. Not holding anything back from anybody here. If you want to work on the drills, feel free. But we will work to keep everything. We're going to push it's an all levels class, but we're going to push the majority of the class a little bit up the spectrum towards the intermediate advanced belt side today, just to kind of give that side of the house a little bit of work today. As always, feel free to follow along at your pace through this process. You can feel free. I think you can rewind YouTube Live. I probably should check that eventually. But I think you can rewind, so you can always go back and take a look at the individual parts we've already talked about, then join us live when you're ready. But all in all, this is your time to practice, right? We're coming at you live. We're going to run you through sort of a general pace, but it's your opportunity to train a little bit so you can adjust to the way that you're looking to train today. How do we look count-wise? Are we bringing some people in to start with? Okay. I wanted to make sure we had enough folks before I mentioned this, because so last week I asked for just feedback in general, what you want to see next, what things you're looking for. And one of the things that we got, one of the requests that we got was forms, doing some katas in classes. We talked about it here internally, and we kind of thought, so these are designed to be all levels classes, right? So everybody from white belt to black and above can participate in these and follow along as best we can. So the problem with forms is, if I spend an entire class on one form, I'm going to alienate some that don't know the form. I'm going to alienate some that already know the form and want to work on different forms. So we just thought it wouldn't be the right platform. So what we did instead is we moved ahead our production schedule for the videos. So right after this stream is over, I believe I have it set to go out at 7 p.m. or 8 p.m. I can't remember which one, Eastern time. The first of 3 videos coming out this week will post live on our YouTube channel, and it'll be for Hyun Shodan. So I started with the Hyun series. We kind of pushed our schedule up a little bit. So Hyun Shodan comes out tonight. Hyun Nidon comes out tomorrow at 8 a.m. or noon. I can't remember which one I set it for. So Hyun Nidon will come out after that. And then on Thursday, so Wednesday we'll have another live class. On Thursday, we will put out our basic sequence number 2 video. So we got 3 form videos in the hopper. After this week, we're going to continue to record more to push more videos out through the schedule there. So the katas are going to be coming to you more in an on-demand format as opposed to being in the classes. Now, we may refer to some different things in the classes, but we'll tell you to go watch those videos. But you can watch them at your leisure. They're going to be available after they're uploaded. They're on demand. You can watch them as many times as you like. And that's sort of our compromise to the request for forms. So appreciate the feedback, appreciate the requests. Keep them coming, right? We want to make sure that we're doing things that you want to see and that you're looking for during our quarantine training program here that we've got going on. So remember, you can hit in the comments. You can message us on Facebook. You can email us, call us, text us, however it takes. But just bring your feedback. Let us know what you want to do, and we'll see what we can do to make it happen. So with that being said, we'll get started today. So today we're going to work on, like I said, hand strikes. We're going to spend some time doing some drills, doing some different combinations and things like that to work through your hand strikes. So if you're lucky enough to have a partner there with you today, whether that be a sibling, mom, dad, whatever the case may be, or a bag, or someone to hold pads, or you just have the air, you're going to be able to follow along with us today. But if you have a partner, it's going to be a little easier. So I've got Ron off camera right now. You can't see him, obviously, he's off camera, but he'll be coming in to help me with holding pads today. So I have something to show and hit as well. So we are going to be doing some hand strikes today, so hopefully we look forward to that. And like I said, we're going to push the envelope a little bit. We're going to go a little more toward the intermediate advanced hand strikes, and then I'm going to give modifications for beginners. So with that being said, hopefully you're ready at home. I'm ready. Production team looks riveting and ready as always. So I think we're ready to start. So move that couch, move stuff out of the way, get the dogs and cats out of the room, and hopefully it's just you and your training partner in the room there, so nobody takes an errant strike, and we'll go ahead and get started. So, we good? All right, let's go ahead and get started then. So we'll go to rest position to begin here. We'll come trip, bring the feet together, bring up, and we'll bow in. All right, let's take a minute, just kind of move around a little bit, warm yourself up a little bit. A lot of different ways we can do this. I'll go through a little bit of a guided warm-up here in just a second, but just taking your time to warm up the body a little bit and get those joints ready. Hopefully everybody's staying safe out there. As we go through this quarantine, make sure you're still working with us, practicing techniques, things like that. But definitely take care of yourself. Make sure that you're staying healthy through all this, because a lot of it going around right now. All right, so let's work through just a guided stretch real quick. We'll start at the bottom, work our way up. So we'll stand normal, shift the weight to the left side, go up on the ball of the right foot, and then nice and easy, just circle around the foot here. You gotta stop making faces like that. You're making me nervous. Something broke? Okay. My production team's making faces, and I'm not sure what the problem is, but it's concerning me. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and switch your feet. If you're in the comments, if you're joining us live, unlike Facebook Live, we can't see who you are unless you post a comment. So, when you join the stream, feel free to throw a comment out there. Let us know you're there. This way, we know who we're talking to, and we can just keep track of who's here. See who's joining us. It helps us engage with our audience a little bit better if we know who's here. All right, go ahead, bring your feet together. Go bend the knees. I know it's a little awkward to be in the comments and work out at the same time, so I get it. Trust me. All right, so just go straighten the legs. Now go bend the knees. Straighten the legs. Bend the knees. And straighten the legs. Now you can from here just go bend the knees again, and you can go ahead and start circling on the right side, we'll say, or you go whichever side you like, and then we'll just switch here in a second. All right, we're going to go the other direction now. All right, let's work our way up. So feet out about shoulder width, hands to the hips. Pick a direction you want to go and just circle the hips. And then move the other direction. All right, let's work our way up. Stand about feet shoulder width apart. Nice and easy, just rotate the torso. Again, not going full bore or anything, just nice and easy rotations. All right. Then we move up to the shoulders. So again, keep your feet about shoulder width apart. Nice and easy. Just rotate the shoulders backwards. And then go forwards. All right. I gotta be careful on this one so I don't run over the mic. But go ahead, bring your right arm across the body, left arm underneath, grab, and nice and easy pull. Go ahead and release that. Go to the other side. I got to drop my arm a little lower so I don't go over the mic. So you can bring yours up to shoulder level. Just got to make sure you don't hear just the inside of my uniform shuffling around. All right. Go ahead and work your way to the elbows. So pin your elbows to your ribs and just circle with the elbows, trying to isolate the elbow joint. And go the other direction. All right, let's move down into the hands. So you're going to open your fingers up, face the hands together, interlock the fingers, close the hands, nice and easy, rotate the wrists. Make sure we have some mobility in the arms. We are going to be doing hand strikes today, so make sure all those joints are cooperating with us today. All right, good, shake that out. We'll move up to the head and neck. So just going to stand up straight. You're going to slowly take your head and look to your left. And then slowly bring your head back and look to the right. Head back to center again to the left. Bring your head center over to the right. And bring your head back to center. You're going to take your chin to your chest. Then you're going to bring your head back up to center. Look up toward the ceiling. One more time, down to the chest. And one more time up to the ceiling. All right, you bring your head straight down. Take your left ear to your left shoulder. Not your shoulder to your ear. Take your ear to your shoulders. Just lean the head, take it to the shoulder. And back up. Right ear to the right shoulder. Back up. Left ear to left shoulder. Back up. Right ear. Right shoulder. And back up. All right, it's sufficiently warm at least to move around. We're going to go ahead and drop to the floor here. Now, like I said, in keeping with my pushing the level of the class up a little bit today, beginners, if you want to focus on just regular push-ups, go for it. Work on your regular push-ups on your knees, on your feet, whatever the case may be. I'm going to do a couple different types of push-ups just to give the advanced folks some different options. And you can feel free to try these as well. It's totally up to you. Any push-up that we do can also be done on your knees, so always feel free to stay on your knees if you like. We're going to start, we'll do 10 regular, and then we're going to move into some different push-ups just to give us a couple options. All right, so go ahead into your plank position on your feet or on your knees, depending on where you're at today. All right, and just 10 regular. So, go, set, net, awesome, yes, go, go, up, go. All right. So, we're going to move into here, diamond push-up, triangle push-up, whatever you want to call them. They're tricep push-up. So you're going to bring your hands sort of in a triangle underneath your chest. Keep your elbows in. As you go down, you try to bring those hands to the center of your chest and bring yourself back up. So if you're having a little trouble with this in the beginning, start with your knees, work up to your feet. It's all good. But we're going to give these a try. So we're just going to do 10 of these. Excuse me. All right. So go ahead and go into your plank position in triangle. All right, here we go. Do. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Go. You. Up. Yo. All right, relax that. All right, we'll do one more set. This time we'll do it on the knuckles. So I don't personally care whether or not you do thumb up, or thumb in. I don't like thumb in just because my elbows tend to fly. I feel like I can't bring my elbows back and keep them at 45. So I like to do elbows or thumb up. So thumb out this way. It's totally up to you. All I will say is, if you're doing this way, don't go too wide, right? We want the work to be here, not out in the shoulders, right? So not way out here. You're trying to push it this way. Make sure you're stacked properly to keep good form and to make sure you don't hurt yourself. But I'm gonna bring my hands in here, my shoulder width apart, right? Making sure everything is stacked just like normal. All right. So go ahead and bring yourself up in plank on the knuckles. Let's try 10 of these. There we go. Huh. Oh. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Oh. Yo. Up. Yo. All right. Good. We're going to work our way to our back. So try again a little bit of different stuff here. So we're going to warm up real quick with just 10 regular sit-ups. All right, so I'm going to go to my side. We'll do 10 regular sit-ups. I forgot my laws back here. That kind of hurt. As I adjust my pack here. All right, make sure to turn it off. Good. All right, just 10 regular sit-ups on my count, and then we'll move on to different exercise. All right, so here we go. Do. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Yo. Yo. Up. Yo. All right. Now, we're going to move into I don't know of a name for it other than a sit-up V-up. That's what it's going to look like. So we're going to start flat. Hands are going to go up straight in front of you. Not back toward your head. Just straight out in front of you, kind of like zombie hands, zombie arms. So you're going to sit straight up, and then let your hands come down and touch toward your legs. So we're going to come up this way and let your hands come down here. This is an opportunity if you want to take a stretch, go toward your feet if you want to. You're going to bring your hands up, and then you're going to lay back. And as you lay back, you're going to let your feet come up only about 6 inches or so, and then V up, and then settle back to the ground. So one count looks like this. We come up, we touch, we raise, we V up, and we settle. All right, we're going to do 10 of those. So feel free to follow me. If you want to adjust, you can just do V-ups. If you want to adjust even more, you can just do sit-ups. It's totally up to you. But we're going to work the sit-up V-up here. All right, so here we go. So up, bring the feet up, and V up, settle. Go. Set. Net. Das. Yes. Go. Go. Up. Go. All right, good. Relax that. Okay. There's a lot of different exercises we could do, but in interest of time, we'll move on. All right, so good. Jump yourself up. Okay. I'm gonna fix my pack here. So we're going to move into warming up the hands a little bit, working in the hand strikes. So, excuse me. The first thing we got to do is establish our fighting stance, right? So, like I said, we're going to recap everything real quick. Fighting stance, right? Feet together, spread out shoulder width apart, draw the line, walk the foot up, draw the line again, walk the foot up, turn the feet 45, turn the hips. As you turn the hips, let this front foot open back up, settle your weight 50-50. That's your front stance. The width of your front stance is going to change depending on the situation. You don't want it so wide that your hips are square, right? We want a little bit of turn here. Whether we're here like a kicker would be or a little more open is dependent on the situation, right? We're doing hands today, so we're going to want a little bit of open in the fighting stance here. So in our fighting stance, hands up at the head, right? Not crossed. Left on left side, right on right side. Back hand right by the jawline. Front hand floating, right? There's a lot of different ways you can hold this, but a lot of times people want to hold this thing down here. It's going to get you hurt, right? So always up here, front hand leads. Stance is 50-50, right? So we're not on our back foot, we're not on our front foot, we're centered here. All right? So at home, establish your fighting stance real quick, and then see if you're comfortable here. Can you move forward? Can you move backwards without having to take a lot of different steps? Can you move right and left? Can you go at an angle, right? Change your angle. Take a few seconds and play with that. What can you do with your stance? If you're finding that you're stumbling, or you're finding that you're having to I never really know how to explain this one, but if you're having to hop like that, kind of gallop, your feet might be too close together. So you might have to come out here a little bit. If you find you go to take a step and you kind of fall when you take the step, it might be too wide. So you got to find that nice center. Should be able to move forward, backwards, left, right, angles, all with relative ease. So make sure your fighting stance has a good established base to it. All right, we're going to talk about the 4 major techniques. Well, 5 major techniques, we'll say. Real quick, and then we're going to get the pads on and start working. All right, so let's start with the jab. All right, so we're on our left side. Left side's out. Jab, front hand. Always front hand, right? Not left or right, the front hand, the lead hand, right? So my left side's out. My left side's my front hand. If my right side's out, my right side's my front hand. Jab's always with the front hand. Jab is straight out to the target, right? Not pull back and then go. And it's a punch straight to the center of the body, right? So this one doesn't have any angle on it. Goes straight out to target. Hip is driving it, right here. So driving forward, pushing off the back foot, driving the hip forward, throwing the jab. All right. So that's our jab. It's sort of partners the reverse punch, right? That's my backhand doing the work, right? So not left or right. If my left lead leg is out, my right hand's my reverse punch hand. If my right leg is out, my left hand's my reverse punch hand, right? So reverse punch, hip drives, right? We're pivoting on the back foot, driving the back foot forward, or driving the hips forward. As I throw the punch, comes straight out and returns, right? So no recoiling or retracting this way before we punch, no winding up for it, so to speak. Just goes straight out, straight back, straight out, straight back. Always a turn, right? So palm starts in to down this way. On the jab, palm starts in to down. A little twist there. All right, so we get jab, reverse punch, right? All right, hooks can be front or back, right? So we'll either say hook punch is usually front hand. We'll say rear hand hook for the rear hand hook, right? So hook punch usually with the front hand. This one has the angle on it. So instead of going straight to target, it's going perpendicular to the target. So how do we throw it? Well, we need that little bit of hip turn in order to set the hook up. So we're going to turn the hips in. As we go to fire this, as the hips start recoiling, elbow comes out, hook comes across the target, right? Now, avoid this. Don't go here and really pull it back into you this way, right? Let it go out and then return it this way. You always want to return back to your target. Unless you're going through and turning for a kick, you're going to want that hook staying in front of you this way, so that your target's staying in front of you. All right? So don't let it overturn you. And also try not to come in upward and then drive downward like a kind of like an arc. There's no arc to this punch. It's just straight across. The only time there's any angle to it is if you're going for the ribs, which would be here. But even then, it's all straight line on the arm, right? It just happens to be, instead of being parallel to the ground, there's a little bit about a 45 angle in there. But otherwise, if you're going to the head, straight angle here, right across the jawline. So we got jab, we got reverse, we got our hook, right? We got a rear hook, same thing. You also hear me refer to the reverse punch as a cross, so don't let that confuse you. Just means you're crossing your body. So you jab, cross. You're going to cross your body on that when you're hitting a pad. All right, so then we got uppercut. Uppercut can be front or rear hand. Got to get under the target, right? So I can't just throw the uppercut from here. I got to get down. If I'm throwing front hand, it's down. Turn the hip to get that hand in position. Use the legs to fire the punch, right? So you don't want to come to here and really dig this thing low like this. You're wide open, right? So as you turn the hips and you dip with the legs, it's going to bring that hand where it's supposed to go. Notice the little twist. Gets it ready for me. Fire it out. If I'm throwing backhand, same idea. Get it under the target. Drive with the legs, not with the arms. Arms are along for the ride on this one. And try your best to get that thing all in line here, right? Try not to throw it from here. Hit with the top knuckle, right? Get your elbow underneath you and get that coming straight up so that you have the full force of the punch behind it and that everything's in line. The more things are out of alignment, the worse things are going to be for your joints. All right, so we got to make sure we got all that. One other punch, the back fist, right? So I wanted to do this one well after the jab, so we try not to get them confused. Jab, straight out, hand down. Back fist, a little bit of a curve. Coming to the side of the head, right? Jab straight on this way. Back fist, side of the head. So from here, I'm going to turn the hips and drive this way. So it's a little bit of an odd hip mechanic for this, but it slightly pulls the hand to the side to then come back around. What you don't want to do is bring that hand into you, right? So we don't want to go here for our back fist because it's going to take too long, right? Out straight away, here. As opposed to coming to here and going this way. It's too slow, too visible. All right, so, and back fist is always with the front hand, just like the jab. So if I'm left leg, my left hand's doing the back fist. If I'm right leg, my right hand's doing the back fist. All right, so we got jab cross, hook, uppercut, back fist. We cover most of them. All right, so let's, I'm going to give you just about 30 seconds to get your gloves on. If you're using pads, take about 30 seconds just to get moving a little bit, get your arms warmed up. If your partner needs to put pads on, get them to put pads on. If they're going to be feeding you with hands, that's okay. We're going to talk about how to feed punches as well, so hang in there with me. But go ahead, about 30 seconds, get yourselves ready. I'm going to go get my gloves. And then Ron's going to come out here with me. So everybody knows Ron, of course. Ron hasn't been on camera since we started, so he's still alive. We're all still alive, right? We just happen to be behind the camera most of the time. We don't get to see all of our lovely faces. So I'm going to move over a little bit so he's got room to settle in with us. But good to have Ron on camera. Good to be here with us. He's not mic'd up, so you can't really hear him all too well. But we'll get him mic'd up one day. But we are going to, he's going to help me with some pads today. So let's talk about feeding pads first real quick. So when you're feeding pads, usually you're going to have the same leg out, right? So if I have my left side, he's going to have his left side out, right? If I was switched here, he was switched with me, right? So our lead hands match. If I was throwing a jab, if he wanted me to hit with a jab, he's going to feed me with the same hand that he would do a jab with. So he would do a jab right now with his right hand. I would do a jab with my right hand. We meet up. I got my right hand out, but he holds this pad up. I hit over here. If he takes the pad away, this is Hollywood angle right here, right? Because it looks like I'm hitting him, but I'm not. I'm coming right here like this. I'm not hitting him. So I have to cross my body because what that does is that goes through the target, right? That goes through my target there. So all of your punches got to cross the body, the plane of the body. Otherwise, you're not hitting your target. You're hitting beside your target, right? Unless you got three heads, one on each shoulder and one in the middle, there's a target that you can miss, right? So you got to make sure that you're crossing your body to go across the target as opposed to going wide of the target, punch out there. It's the same thing when we tell you to do straight punches and you guys are doing a straight punch here. It's if you were punching over here like this, at the line of the shoulder, that's the same thing. You're missing the target. You're going past it. So just something to recall when you're doing pad work and stuff, you're holding the same hand you would throw the punch with most of the time. Changes a little bit if you're doing punch to the rib or you got to protect to the rib. It's a little bit different for that, but we'll get to that later. All right. So when you're holding pads, it's hold the pad, let them hit the pad, then you show a new one, right? If you're hitting 2 punches, don't hold your pads like this and let them punch both sides, right? Meet them. This way. It works for a couple reasons. A, they've only got 1 target to go after, and B, it actually helps you as a pad holder to train your speed as well. So you can meet them here this way. Gives them a more dynamic target. You start moving, your pad moves, they can adapt to that and start learning how to punch in motion, right? So it's going to get confusing versus pad holders, so hang in there. We're all going to work on this together. If you don't have a pad holder, you're hitting the air today. The air is the greatest partner sometimes. All right, so the first thing we're going to start with is the jab cross. All right, this is arguably one of the most common drills that we'll ever do. It's a good one to start out on. So we establish our fighting stance. My hands are up. If you have a partner, partners yell at them each time their hands go down or bop them on the head. Well, either way works for me. All right, so we're going to go jab cross. So hands are up here. If this front hand is out, this hand's up. If this hand is out, this hand's up. There's always a pad up, ready to protect my head if need be. All right, so going jab cross. Jab's going to show. I'm going to go to it and go and cross. I'm going to go 1, 2, here. 1, 2, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 2. Now, I don't know how that sounds on mic. It's going to be weird, but that's okay. You're going to hear a lot of weird pad noises today, so hang in there with me. All right? So I showed you how to do the pad drill there. Go with your partner. Start your drill now. So go ahead and start doing the drill. I'm going to talk while you're doing the drill. I'm going to give you tips while you're doing the drill. Slow down for beginners, right? Take your time. Jab, return, cross, return. Advanced bells. If those hands aren't returning to your head, you're in danger. Just make sure you're doing that. Keep the pads at the same level. So head, head. Try not to give them two different angles to hit, right? Head and then body. Unless you're advanced and you want to try it. Give it a shot. Change your angles. Change your target. So I can go high and then low if I needed to, right? It's up to you how you do that. All right, so we keep playing with that drill there. As you're going through the drill, you might want to move a little bit. So as you're going, you can either keep an eye on the camera or you can just listen to me as I talk. But as I do the first drill, I'm going to see the pad. I'm going to jab, cross, and then he's going to start moving. I'm going to track him, jab, cross. As we're moving, jab, cross, right? So we're circling. We're dynamically moving a little bit. Break your timing. You don't always have to go jab, cross, pause, jab, cross, pause, jab, cross, pause. You can go jab, cross, move a little bit, jab, cross, pause, and move with them. This can be more dynamic. It's totally up to you, but just play that drill a little bit. All right, let's come back here. Let's break that drill and let's move on to the next. We're going to go jab, cross. Why not? Let's go into it. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. We're going to 4 moves. So here's my rule. If the last drill didn't make sense, stay there until it does make sense. Then come back with us. Rewind. Listen to it again. If it's making sense, move with us. All right? So we're going to jab, cross, hook, uppercut. So it's going to be front hand jab, rear hand cross, front hand hook, rear hand uppercut. It's going to flow together. All right? So pad holders, you can watch Ron. He's going to go out with the front hand, out with the back hand. Now the front hand's going to show, and he's going to hold it toward the inside of his body. So I can come out with the hook, and then see how he's going to post up here. This is important, because if he doesn't hold with 2 hands, it might come back and hit him in the chin. So you got to be careful, right? So I see this target. I'm going to get underneath it, come up with the uppercut. Now, big key to this is you got to manage your distance, right? So if I'm out here at full length, I do this hook, that uppercut's going to be a little far away. So I might have to shuffle in to get that if I need to. You might have to move a little bit. I guess this is a more advanced topic, so we're trying to look for you to get your distance down a little bit. All right? So again, we're coming here. We're going jab, cross, see that hook, come inside, uppercut here. All right? The whole time, hand up, hand up, hand up, hand up. Right? So let's try that. Jab, cross, hook, uppercut. Go ahead, work with the pad holder a little bit. Pad holders, when you're holding for a hook, and you can keep going. I'm just talking while you're going. Jab, cross. When you're throwing that hook, it's all about targeting, right? So I want that jab, cross at head level. I want that hook at head level too for me, right? You can talk to your pad holder. You can drop it to the rib too. That's totally fine. You have two different ways to hold to the rib. You can hold this way to the rib, kind of like Ron's doing here, or you can turn it over. So if I was hitting with my right hand, I'm going to be hitting this rib. He can come across the body and pin that to his rib here, where I would come up and I would hit it on the rib. Or you can bring the other hand over and kind of hug this way, right? So you have a couple options to hit the rib. Just make sure you're covering your rib. Because if they hit your rib and your pad wasn't there, they're hitting your rib. And it's going to hurt. So as you go through this, make sure your targeting is correct, right? If you're throwing that jab and you're kind of glancing off the pad, you got to see that target, go straight for it. You can't pull your arm out, start going past that target, right? Aim for the center of the target, hit right on it. As you see that cross coming, same idea. If you're glancing off that, you might be throwing your body too much. So you got to keep control of your hips and everything through this process. It's not just about your hands. It's about the whole body working together to make this work. All right, so let's break from that for just a second. So we were 4 moves: jab, cross, hook, uppercut. 4 moves. That's a lot. It's going to get worse. So hang in there with us. Again, if the drill doesn't make sense, do not move on. Okay? Now we're going to add another concept, and that's the concept of evasion. So, or evasion or mitigation of an attack, right? So, strangely enough, there's no rule that says if we're fighting and I'm punching, he can't. It's the rule. It's how the rule works. I go, then he goes, then I go, then he goes. It's turn-based. It's not. He can hit me as soon as I'm hitting him, and he's smart to. He's smart to attack when I attack, or attack when I retreat, one of the two. So we got to know how to evade that. We got to know how to avoid those attacks and even use them to our advantage sometimes. See where the openings are. So how do we do that? Well, we have a couple options. We can block it, or we can evade it. Now, everybody's typical evasion is this. If he's going to throw a jab, I go, ah, back here. Okay, but eventually I'm going to run out of little steps backwards, and I'm going to be either out of the ring, if we're sparring, or run into a wall or something terrible, and then I'm going to really get hurt. So you have a bunch of different options for evading punches. On a jab, going inward, this way. So why did I not go to this side? Well, there's a hand there, and I like my teeth. So I'm not going to do that, right? So on the jab, I'm going outside the jab this way. Now, as I come back to center, if he throws a cross at me, I'm going the other direction, right, where the hand is not. So you're getting this motion. From here, you're going in, out. Now, notice it's not, if I stand straight on, it's not this way. It's at an angle. It's 45. I want to go a little bit toward him on this one, okay? Now, for boxing and sparring, when that jab comes in, I'm going here, just this far out, right? And I might work to there. In defense, I'm going here. I'm getting way inside of him, one way or the other, right? Switch feet for a second. If he does the cross, right, I'm coming here for sparring. But if it's defense, I'm coming way past here. I'm getting way up in here where I can work. And even sparring, I might come that close, depending on what I'm trying to do. But my point is, you're going toward him. Not straight toward him, because that's where the punch is. 45 toward him. You're not going 90 degrees. You're not coming here and going, if he's throwing the cross, I'm not going this way. There's too much gap here. I'm going to get hurt. So I got to keep that close. So I'm leading down the arm here. This way I can start working inside if I need to. Targets open up real well. All right? So we're going to work the evasion real quick, just to start. So we'll go back to the other side just so they can see. So with your hands up, because that's still important, we're going to go jab. I'm going to go to the side. I'm going to come back. He's going to throw the cross, and I'm going to go to the other side. He's going to come in. 1, 2. 1, 2. Just like that. Okay? And rock. Now, notice my feet. I'm not going and moving my foot. Foot staying still. 1, 2. 1, 2. All right, I'm going 45, 45, 45, 45, 45. All right, play with that a little bit. Guess what? If you go straight in, you're going to hit, your partner's going to hit you. That's okay. You're going to learn. That's all that matters, right? Just a little motion here. Go slow. Go slow. You don't have to go real fast with this. Stand inside, outside. Stand inside, outside. As you're doing this, take note to your balance. Like if I come here and I'm really leaning into here, I don't like this. I'm way off balance. It's too much. All I have to do is get it past my head, right? I don't have to go all the way down here. There's no reason for that, right? So it's a close movement. These are very close-in movements. And think about it in your head. These don't have to be just movements. They could be attacks, right? I could go here to here if I wanted to, or even straight in with a jab if I wanted to. Oh yeah. Keep your head up, right? So don't duck your head this way, right? Keep it up. You got to see where you're going. You got to see what's out there, right? That's the only way you're going to be able to get counters in there. So as I'm here, I could go right here with it if I wanted to, right? I have that option. But my point is, these are dynamic evasions, right? So you evade, you attack. You evade, attack at the same time. It's totally up to you. All right, so let's come back out of that drill real quick. We're going to go on to shielding, or frame blocking, right? Frame blocking is the idea that if I block out here, I'm redirecting you, right? I'm moving you. If I'm frame blocking, I'm absorbing what you're throwing at me in a way that doesn't hurt me. So if I'm redirecting, I'm moving you. If I'm absorbing, I'm letting that energy dissipate down to the ground or somewhere else other than into me directly. So frame blocks are all about you framing to your body, not to theirs, right? So a frame block would be something like this. Now, as you can see, I'm grabbing at my head. Okay, I'm not doing this right over my ear, because if they hit my hand, I will force air into my own ear, which is not good. Have your ears cupped, hurts like mad. You don't want to cup your own ear, right? So not at the ear, past it, hooking around the neck this way. Now I'm not cranking on my neck. I'm just keeping my head here. I'm just framing it against my head. Now, you're probably saying, what about my rib? Right? What about my rib? Oh, well, it's open. Yeah, it is. You're guarding against a singular attack, right? You're guarding against a shot to the head. If they go to the rib, you pin it to the rib. Here, right? What about below the rib? I don't really care about below the rib. Down here, you want to hit me in the, toward the waist, hip joint, into the oblique. That's fine. That's muscle tissue. I don't really care about that so much. I care about ribs and organs that are going to get hurt, right? So my blocking line is from my head to the bottom of my rib cage, right? It's right about here. After that, it's all muscle tissue, and I'm okay with that getting hit. So you have two types of framing, right? You have a frame high, you have a frame low. Now, when you frame low, you don't stand up straight like this, because now you got more to cover. Crunch down, scrunch down into it, right? So I'm here, I'm going to scrunch down into it, cover myself here, take the shot, move on. So how does this work in a fight, you say? Well, if he was going to hit me in the side of the head with a hook punch, go ahead, whack, owie. So that's what we don't want, right? So now what do we want? Well, we want here, right? Guard it up. I'm protecting myself, right? Making sure I don't get hurt, right? What if he wants to go low? I guard myself here, right? And I counter. I react, right? So now pad holders, you get to play a little bit, because this is my favorite part. Give them a few times where they're going to say, maybe you're going to do 3 high. So you're going to come in 1, 2, 3. Then you're going to go 3 low. 1, 2, 3. Now you get to choose high, low. Right? And guess what? If you make a mistake, it's a pad. It's all good, right? Now, pad holders, you get to play a little bit, because we're going to go, sorry, I'm this way, my bad. So he can hit, his front hand's going to go to this side, his back hand's going to go to this side. You get to play now. It's terrifying. It's terrifying. It's horrible, right? So he can come here, here, here. Not good, not fun, terrifying, horrible, horrible, right? So, parents, this is your shot. This is your time now. Go after them. All right, so go ahead, work that drill. Just frame blocking, just frame blocking. Go ahead. Get them. The key here is not to stay in one frame the whole time, right? Guard my head, hit my ribs all you want to. That's not okay. Your ribs are going to break. You don't want that, right? So work through the process. Make sure my mic didn't fall off. Work through the process, right? Frame, return, frame, return, frame, return, because you're going to have to attack back eventually, because that sucks sitting in there taking shots over and over again. You're not going to be able to do anything, right? So we're going to put a pattern together here in just a minute that puts these and attacks all in one. So keep working a little bit. For the last 20 seconds, nobody heard a word I said because our bell is just getting rung over and over again. Ping, ping. If you're in the air, what are you doing right now? You're framing. Frame, 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 frame. You're envisioning the punches coming at you, right? So you have the opportunity to play a little bit, right? But you have to, if you're in the air, you still have to see them coming at you, right? All right, go ahead and stop beating everybody now. We're going to come back and we're going to put all this together now. So we're going to go offense, defense, offense. All right, so we're going to start out jab cross. I'm going to do it in the air real quick. We're going to start out jab cross. Now, they're going to come in over top here because they're expecting me to bring my hand down. This is why we don't hold our hand down here. It's why it always comes back up here, right? So we're on jab, cross. They're expecting me to go here or throw a hook where they can attack me on this side. So I'm going to go jab, cross, come for my head, frame it. As I return, they're going to come in and hit me again. I'm going to frame it, cross hook. Okay? So it's going to be jab, cross, frame, frame, cross, hook. Okay? So here's what it looks like on pad. So we got jab, cross. Now he sees that opening, so I'm going to frame high here, frame high here. Now this hand's going to come off as a pad holder, and it's going to go to a cross, right? So it's going to show cross. I'm going to come out cross. Then he's going to have the hook here. Okay? So for pad holders, you're looking at jab, cross, swing, swing, cross, hook. Okay? One more time, just walk through it. So jab, cross, see the frame, frame, cross, hook. Okay? Go. So don't get into a pattern. It could be jab, cross, throw, and frame, pause, frame, cross, hook. Could be jab, cross, frame, right? They could change it up a little bit. So don't fall into that metronome style pattern of jab, cross, frame, cross, hook, jab, cross, frame, cross, hook. That's not how it's going to be in combat, right? So you got to play on the movement a little bit. You got to take your time. You got to make it more dynamic, especially if you have a partner, right? In the air, right? We're jab, cross, drop it in. Look at the hips. Frame in here. Because if you keep the hips here, you're going to fall over, right? So it's jab, cross, bring that hip down. Lock into it. Frame, cross, right? Open the hip, close the hip, open the hip. Hip always has to tie into what you're doing. So you can't go jab, cross, frame, open the hip, and then close the hip, and then have to open, close, you know what I mean, to get back out to that next punch. It's always got to tie into everything. So this is going to be a good hip transition challenge, especially for you advanced students. So take your time, play with that a little bit. I kind of want somebody to record the video of this and send it in just so I can see, see how the kids do. Yeah, anytime you're training and stuff like that, like if you want to take, if you have another phone or camera or whatever, and you want to take a video, hey, here's the drill we did today, go for it. I know, who was that video we saw? Whose work? It was Bryson working with his dad. It's pretty cool to see that because it's seeing you guys do the drills, right? That's what we want, right? We want to see you guys doing the drills, and I can't see you right now because I'm not in your living room. I am right now on screen anyway. But so feel free to post them out there. Let us know what you're doing. Tag us in the photos or whatever, or comment us and let us know, hey, check out this, check out me doing this drill or whatever. It's a good opportunity for us to continually see how you're doing, regardless of whether or not we're in your living room. All right, let's come back. Let's work another set of drills here. So we have shielding. But sometimes on those hooks, I don't want to take that. It could have so much behind, I just don't want to take it. So I'm going to get around it, and I'm going to go under it. So say we're here, and that hook comes in, right? So this hook's coming this way. It's going to turn my head around 3 or 4 times, which I don't want to happen. So I can frame it. I can go out and block it, right, and maybe just take a hit anyway, because it's got a lot behind it. But I can also go under it. All right. So what I can do is I can go under this way. Now, what I don't want to do is go real low. Like, as the hook coming in, I don't want to go way down here. That's too far to get back up. I don't need to go that low. His hand's not that big. He got a big hand, but not that big. So I just got to get right under it, just under it, this way. Now, see, I bumped there a little bit. Came up a little too early, right? It's just a mystery. But that's better than taking a shot to the jaw, for sure. Right? If I take that, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with taking that shot to the jaw. So as I go under, I'm here. Now, what you can't see at that angle is, watch, my head starts here, but it goes under, right? It starts on one side, under, and it goes to the other side. So if the arm is, I don't even know how to do this on this camera. Just put your arm straight out like this. If it's out this way, I want to be on one side, go under, and come up on the other side. We call it a U. We U under. So we don't want to do the whack-a-mole thing where we just go straight down, straight up. All right? So we want a little hook in there with the body. That puts you on the other side of the arm. Make sure you're going on the other side of the arm so that you're in a better position. All right? So as I'm here, I see that hook coming. I'm going down and under, coming up here. And then I get to work in. All right? So now I want you to play that a little bit. So he's going to hook with the front hand. I'm going under and coming back up. He's hooking with the back hand. I'm going under and coming back up on the other side. It's just going, you. It's like one of those conductors, right? But it's your head is the stick. I don't know. I don't make good analogies. It's not what I'm here for. All right? So, again, comes under and under. All right? So, that's how I backed out. Just make sure. All right? So, go work that a little bit. You. Right? Go under that hand. Now, pad holders, go where their head is at when they're standing up. Don't go for them when they're on the ground, right? Obviously, that's, I'm doing this, and you're going to punch me. I'm going low. You're still going to hit me, right? So you're trying to hit him in the head, hit him in the head, hit him in the head, but the head is constantly going back under and coming up on the other side. You still got to have a hand up on this one. So you can't go, and we see it all the time, you can't go, right? Because you're just going to come up and get hit with the other side. So it's got to be hands up, hands up, hands up the whole time, regardless. All right? We'll give about another 20 seconds on that, and then we're going to go into a drill where we try to combine all of them. All right? So this is going to be a fun one. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. So I'm going to walk through it here while you guys are working on that. So keep working on the drill you're on now. So it's going to be jab, cross, frame. So jab, cross, frame. As this is coming in, I'm going under it, and overhand, jab, overhand hook, or overhand hook. So yes, it'd be jab, cross, frame, under, and that overhand hook. Okay, so let's work this drill in here now. This is one where it's going to change a little bit based upon the height of you versus the height of your opponent. And what changes is this angle of this hook. So I'll show you what the drill is, and then I'll show you what I typically do. All right? So hang in there with us, all right? This is a long one. You're combining punches, you're combining frame blocking, and you're combining Ewing all together. All right? So put your propeller caps on for this one. All right? So sticking with the standard jab cross, right? So we're going jab, cross. Now, this hook's coming in. I'm going to frame that one. That one I can frame. This one coming in, maybe I can't get this arm up in time or something's not quite working right, so I'm going to go under it. Turn the hips, hook. Now, on that U specifically, I tend to jab, cross, frame it. As I go to U, my hips are already on this side. So I don't necessarily want to come all the way back here and then go down. So what I'll do is I'll frame, and when I U, I'll drop my foot across this way. And I'll take that, instead of being a hook, I'll turn it into a straight cross. Just how I do things sometimes, depending on where I'm at, depending on my opponent. So what the difference would be is I would go jab, cross, nothing changes here, it goes here. But instead of just coming under like this, I'm going to move this bottom foot, just come back with this hook. I'm going to move this foot out slightly, and instead of coming across this way with the hook, I'm going to pop the hips and come straight with a cross. That's going to get me outside the body to the jawline, the open jawline. And it lets me put energy directly into the jawline as opposed to coming out across it a little bit. So it all depends on how you want to do it. All right, so make this our last drill. Go jab, cross, frame that first hook in, slide underneath, hook, or cross, up to you. Okay? Do it. This one's a lot of moving pieces. All right, so take your time. Beginners, jab, cross, frame. Or jab, cross, frame, under. Or all of it. It's up to you. Or just jab, cross. Doesn't have to be everything, right? Stick to the drill where you where it didn't make sense. If you stuck with this the whole time, great. It's just going to get better over time, that's all. So as you're working through the drill, try to keep your eyes up the whole time. Don't look at the ground. You have a tendency to do that, especially when you start framing, you start looking at the ground. Keep your eyes up the whole time. Keep your eyes on your target, because you got to find that next opening, right? And it's your eyes that are on your target, not your chin. So don't lift your head up to look at them. Eyes go up, but your chin stays low. This way you don't take shots to the throat, right? So when you're in fighting stance and everything, your chin's always slightly tucked, keeping that neck and throat protected, all right? So that doesn't change throughout the fight. Plus, the more that sticks out, the more it's vulnerable to be hit with an uppercut, and that will put you down real quick. Get that head to snap back and does some nasty stuff. So just be aware of that as you're going through these techniques. You got to have that chin protected at all times, no matter what. All right, give me about 30 more seconds on that drill, and then we'll bring it back together. Man, I miss the sound of pads slapping together and gloves hitting pads and breathing, all that kind of stuff. It's a shame. It'll be back soon enough, though. I know that. It'll be back soon enough. Can't be quick enough, but it'll be soon enough. All right, bring the drill back together. If you were working with a pad holder, go ahead about your pad holder. Give them a gloved-handed fist bump, not a handshake, obviously, or elbow or whatever you want to do. Something virus-free. All right, and then you can take your gloves off, your pads off. I'm going to throw mine off camera. They landed in a perfect pile. It's crazy. They did not. Anyway, so we'll conclude the lesson here for today. Hopefully those drills made a little bit of sense. Like I said, this is going to be something that's going to come over time. All right, so you can't expect to have all those drills mastered day one. The good news about live streaming a class is it gets uploaded to YouTube right afterward. So you can go home and you can spend hours upon hours upon hours with all of your copious amounts of free time now on these drills, learning them, working with them, getting them down, getting the detail down, all that good stuff. You have that opportunity now. So take the drills, go home, play, or you're already home, hopefully. Play with them at home more. When you can't sleep at 2 in the morning because you're going crazy for being stuck in a house, you just keep punching, keep working on the bag a little bit, relieve some of the crazy stress. My production team is punching their own bag right now. You have the opportunity to go back and review these over and over again. So that's how you learn these things, is through repetition. You just have to repeat it over and over again for it to make a lot of sense. So go watch the stream again. Hit the on-demand videos. Hyun Shodan for the forum should be coming out. I think it's at 7, So it might be uploading right now, or it might be going live right now. If not, I think it's 8 o'clock. I can't remember which one. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I set it to. But it'll be up very shortly. So go back and start looking at Heian Shodan for those of you that need that form or want to review that form. Heian Nidan will come out tomorrow around or before noon, sometime in the morning. And then the basic sequence number 2 for the beginners will be coming out on Thursday. So be ready for that. Basic sequence 1 is already out there, so go look that up. And then, as always, the rest of the stance videos are out there right now. We shifted our production schedule a little bit. We'll get back to more techniques after we get through the forms. So keep going out there. Keep going, looking at the videos. Give us your suggestions through comments, through Facebook, through text, through email, through phone, whatever. What do you want to see in these classes? We're here to make sure we're bringing you the content you want. So keep talking to us, and we'll take it from there. So thanks again for joining us. I'm Corey with CVMA, and we'll see you again next time.